I'll do. So what's up, everybody? Another episode of the Winging It podcast. We still don't have any intro, and we probably never will. We will never have an intro because we're just winging it, and we need to stick to our values. But maybe we have it. If you can make a great intro for us, we are willing to consider. No, we are not, because then we will need to add in post-production. No, we are.
No, I was going to say that. The other day, someone asked me because we said we have been doing 20-something episodes from the podcast, and he asked me how are you doing that? Because making a podcast, it seems like super difficult. I'm like, man, we just get together in a Zoom call, we record it, and we upload it as it is. That's how you do it.
the only thing you can play a melody inside the Zoom call, but that would be too weird.
Maybe I can put it with my phone like this on the mic.
That could be very winging it style. We can do it for fun, but I think when we get to 100, then we can decide it. But
maybe.
But exactly. Okay, let's. But for this episode, I think we want to do something kind of cool and fun, which could, I don't know how you will call this episode, but it's like what's in your inbox or something. But basically, we just we are subscribed to some Twitter lists, to some we follow different people, we follow like newsletters and stuff, and we will just pick 3 random topics from the things we kind of follow and just riff on them and see maybe there's some interesting conversation sparks out of that, and maybe you find something cool. So Alex, I'll leave you with our stage.
So I'll start with one that basically the premise of everything is that good ideas or good copywriting spreads, and it doesn't matter the platform that it is, because it will work everywhere. And this is because I saw this tweet from Jack Appleby, who is someone who writes about social media, stuff like that. So he basically said, okay, I found this TikTok that went viral 6 days ago, and the copy from the TikTok was, what's a scam that's become so normalized that we don't even realize it's a scam anymore, something. So people can say, okay, the government, paying taxes, that kind of stuff. So, and that was posted on TikTok 6 days ago, and it went viral with over 500,000 views and stuff like that. And then he found out that the same exact copy was posted on Reddit 4 days ago, and it got 50,000 upvotes, so it went viral too on Reddit. And then someone else found out the exact same copy on Twitter 2 or 3 days ago, with all 10,000 retweets, 20,000 likes. So basically the whole thing was, if the idea is good, it doesn't matter that much the platform where it's from, that it will spread anyway. And in this case it was a question, and that people love to answer questions, especially if there is this kind of stuff. So it's clear why it spread, why the idea can spread. But for me, it was curious to see how the same exact thing was spreading in different platforms. So I thought that was a super insightful piece of content.
Yeah, that's true. It kind of reminds me of, I think my visuals usually do pretty similar on the platforms as well. Of course, there are something that Twitter appreciates a bit more and something that Instagram appreciates a bit more. So it's sometimes it is a bit random, but what I definitely noticed, which kind of doesn't really piss me off maybe sometimes, but there's this when some of my visuals go viral, there are these mindset mastery Twitter accounts and whatever, all these fake shits in there with their top 10 tweets. They just always steal the viral post,
all the time,
put it and then it usually goes viral for them. There's one thing pissed me off. Other than that, usually whatever, do whatever you want, and then you tag me in the end, it's fine. I don't care. I just mute all of them, and that's that. But one was he got super viral. I think it was over 100 likes or something, and that dipshit plugs his stupid course in the end, which is just probably some 100 mindset shit whatever. That was just using all my visuals, 10 visuals, and just promoting your ash in the end. I'm not, maybe it's not shit and whatever. In general, I don't care, but I was
that's not a cool move,
I know, but I don't have anything. I love when people take my visuals and repost them, but I like when there's real people and they add their own insights, not these clearly it's just a growth account that they copy a content elsewhere and just post it up and maybe call themselves as a content curators, but it's just, I don't know. I find it a bit annoying, but okay, that's whatever. But that was to the point that, of course, I think people understand this and they just try to pick viral hits and maybe do their own twist on it and do whatever. But yeah, okay, cool, good insight. I'll do mine. Can I? For those who are watching the YouTube, I'll maybe share the screen so you have the context as well for what I'm sharing. But I recently subscribed to this. There is this guy, Neville Medhora, who is he has this copywriting course. And I just signed up to his email list to see what he kind of creates. But I saw Sam Parr was really recommending him. So I was on his email list and I didn't know, but the guy, it was doodle type of visuals. And this was interesting. It's it's how he promotes his course, which is really good actually. But look at this pitch. Hey, when you start a business, you want it to grow like this. And then basically you see a classic XY chart, with everything going up and to the right. And the first part is easy, and then he kind of do a nice visual and that's great, but that's not enough, and he says that, early sales are usually your friends, family, and network helping you out. And that's great, but not enough. If you really want to grow, you need to figure out this difficult part, which is the second part of all this growth stuff. And then basically he just kind of pitches his course here, are my ads actually working, and talking about SEO. And then it's a copywriting course. But I really like this visual, and I love this framework that the beginning is easy. And I think it's, I don't know if it's easy. I don't know if I can relate, but I can definitely relate to this exponential
this
growth.
one.
I feel now I'm in this plateau phase where I'm I had my initial creator success, but kind of to get to the next level is actually very difficult. And I find it a very interesting visual, and the way how this dude represents this stuff. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about this trend in general and the stuff that is represented here?
Yeah, I was going to say I don't know if I feel that that relatable to the easy part. I think that getting the first sales is also difficult, but it's true that once you start rolling, the things start going well until there is a place when you hit that difficult part, which is it really gets difficult. So I think the second one is super 100% on point. The first one maybe not so much, but I like how the pitch is structured. It's super smart. And the thing is
it's a very good pitch.
This is the pitch for a course, and other people, especially copywriting course, other people will be this super long copy pages, sales pages that are you need to scroll 10,000 times until you get to the okay, but how much does it cost? And here is what, 2, 3, 4 sentences, 2 visuals, and that's the pitch. So
it's a really good pitch.
Pitches. It's a really good pitch. Maybe I will steal this.
Sure. I can forward it to you.
Yeah, do it.
how I can forward the email in my email?
Is it a free email course or what is it
Yeah, it's I think go to copywritingcourse.com and that's that.
I sign up to there.
Okay, I'll stop share now. You go with your thing.
Cool. Can I share my screen? Maybe not, right?
Of course you can. I think I need to probably give you some sort of permissions, and that I usually can do.
It's just because this one is a kind of visual too. So sorry for the people listening. I mean, I will describe it, but still, if someone can't see it, then okay. How do I share my screen?
But make me a host afterwards as well, because
okay. Can you see it?
We are recording, right? Yeah, we are recording. Always recording. Yeah, I can see.
Hopefully. Yes. Okay, so I found this. It's like a comic kind of thing. So the top one is the artist, says the artist. And then there is this one guy putting a kind of normal type of cake next to a super cool cake. And he says, oh man, that guy's cake is way better than mine. And then there is the bottom one, which is the audience. And it says, holy shit, 2 cakes. So it's how as creators we see the that guy is doing better than me, and that guy is his content about is way better.
Really, and I love it.
I knew you would like it. And when the audience sees it, it's just okay, just 2 different pieces of content or 2 different things out there. One might be prettier than the other, but both are I am the audience. I get 2 cakes.
This is so good. That's a good thing. I love it. This is so good. And especially I love the frame, holy shit, 2 cakes.
Yeah, exactly. And the face from the guy who's yay, 2 cakes.
This is perfect.
I think
And this is
super
so
cool.
true.
And
This is so true. And this
yeah,
is like, oh man, so good
I feel
find.
most creators, we feel like this, when we put something out there and we're like, oh, like this thread is not doing so good or this visual is not doing so good. And then you see another one blowing up. And for the audience, it's like, you get to consume two super cool visuals or two super cool threads in one day. And, that's cool. So maybe we should just take a step back and see, look at our content more like from the audience point of view, more than from the creator / competition kind of thing, right? So
this is nice. This is a very good find. Thanks for sharing this.
Yeah.
I love it. So can you make me a host?
Yes. I think I can. Okay, now you're good. I should be good.
Okay, I'm good to go. Yeah, for this one, I just had this tweet up. I will not share it, but there's basically Sahil Bloom, 15 bad habits holding you back from your potential. I just want to challenge us. I have nothing in mind, but like, can we come up with like 3 habits each that you feel is holding you back? And I'll try to figure out something that is holding me back. Are you up for the challenge?
Yes, of course.
Okay, I can go first because I figured I came up with this horrible thing. I don't know. One thing I think definitely one thing for me as a creator kind of doing all this thing is that I'm really, I think, afraid of kind of not hiring, but kind of taking in maybe others' advice. And I'm really sticking to my old weird values, maybe that kind of got me here, but they will not get me further. And I need to embrace more experienced people advice, but I'm kind of, I think, resistant to do it because I really like to learn by running into walls and trying to figure things out on my own, which is not bad. But honestly, I think it's not serving me at this stage, and I should embrace it.
I think that right now you are at this point that you could really use help from someone that knows a little bit more, about kind of things, because I really like the running to walls approach. I think me and you we're super similar in that sense, that learning by doing and stuff like that. But there comes to a point where you kind of need that outside help or outside guidance, like a fresh pair of eyes to look at your things and, okay, but haven't you seen this or this? Because sometimes you're like too much into that and you're like, I need to figure everything out by myself. And probably that's cool in the beginning, but up to a certain point, that's super true. And that's one of the reasons, like, because on the podcast, like in the last podcast episode, we spoke about me joining like this paid community and so on. And maybe that's one of the reasons that pushed me to do it too. Like, okay, maybe now is the time that I need to ask somehow for help, like on where to move forward from now on.
Yeah, I was actually, this reminds me, I listened to, I did this week. I binged, actually. It's a quite good podcast, especially I think for us, which is Nathan Barry's podcast, who is like the founder of ConvertKit. He has like this whatever podcast more tailored towards newsletters, but it's not really newsletters. He's mostly having interviews with creators, and it's like it has the wisdom that we need and we aspire to get. So it was quite good. I binged a couple of episodes. And one of them I listened like today with Ali Abdaal, and they were talking a lot about like hiring coaches for like their teams and for themselves and so on, and then how powerful this is. And it feels like coaches are actually like very expensive, at least, good coaches probably that actually know stuff really well. I don't know, have no experience, but that's what I assume.
No,
but
I think.
But I think that the stuff that you did with joining that community is like kind of a cheap way how to get this kind of coaching in some sense, which is actually really smart and cool. So yeah, I'm curious how that will go. But okay, I don't know. 3 habits might be a lot, but what's something that comes to mind for you? Let's be vulnerable on the podcast.
I think mine is like, I have a lot of trouble, and I end up doing the things at the end, but I have a lot of trouble like really focusing on the task at hand, and I think a big, for example, I need to do this thing. Okay. So I start doing this thing, but then suddenly like my mind goes to like, oh, but you wanted to look for this thing on YouTube. Why don't you look at it right now, while you are in the middle of writing an article or whatever? Or, oh, like just go to the kitchen and eat something, or, like just fucking sit for 1 hour and do the thing. That's, I have a lot of problems with that. So, like a better focusing routine, or, like something like that would be way better for me. I still get things done, like I do get things done, and I don't work too much, many hours in the day, but I could definitely do way more in way less time if I just sit down and focus for 3 hours.
I'm same here. And actually, this reminds me of a tweet I think I read yesterday. Like, one thing I want to embrace more and learn more, because I'm completely winging it style, doing here and there, and like making a visual posting before we started to record this. Like, I have nothing is batched or anything, like everything is done and published and so on. And then like yesterday, I think Justin Welsh, who's like a quite big and awesome creator, like big on LinkedIn and on Twitter as well. He's like crazy about systems. And I was like reading his tweet, like, it's Monday. I just like wrote one thread, one article, one newsletter stuff, 5 tweets, 7 this, 7 that, like work week done. Is like, fuck you. Like on Monday, like all the content is produced and so on. And like, I know he has these systems. I have not taken his course, but I think I wanna check it out and maybe learn.
I did. I have the course, like the content system course.
Did you took a couple of things, and was it useful? Or it really depends what type of personality, or because it's like the stuff that might work for him might not work for me, because
I mean, in your case, since your main like content type of things that you put out is visuals, maybe it's not so useful for you, because he's like more focused on writing kind of content, but maybe it could be also interesting. Like the system that he has is basically he doesn't start from scratch, and this is like, it was similar to the system that I had, but my system wasn't organized. His is organized. So basically he doesn't start from creating from scratch. He starts creating from pre-made structures or templates that he already has, and then he just needs to come up with one idea, fit it into the template somehow, and tweak a bit here and there, and then you have the tweet there. And this is basically was the same system that I was using before I knew about this, but mine was totally like unstructured. And it helped me see how he structures, because he has like a clear structure. On Notion, he has like different pages, and basically I just took his system, which was the same that I was doing, but I just like rearranged it to make it work in my way, and it kind of works. Like it's good. So maybe you should give it a try.
Okay, we'll think about it. Okay, do you want to share any other habit what you want to improve, or we're good and you share your next insight?
No, I guess my other habit would be like less phone screen time, stuff like that. So pretty common stuff. I don't think I have anything crazy.
Yeah, true. I think I would be way more productive if I would I think I would be way more productive even if I would do the same amount of social media I do, but if it would be batched, if I would sit and for 45 minutes, I would really like quickly go through everything, try to comment to people, answer all the stuff, instead of just like flipping my phone every 5 minutes for 2 minutes.
I kind of try to do that, and it works. I still get distracted from time to time, but like to log in the morning, reply to whatever, like maybe once after lunch or something like that, and if you want one more, then one more, and that's it. But you like 2-3 times during the day, and you don't check social media anymore until next day.
Go up in midday, like Giannis tweets, and then continue on with your day. Okay, what's your next find?
So my next find is an email that I got. Maybe you got it too, and I bought the course. Actually, I think you got it too, from Jack Butcher.
I got the course as well. Yeah,
he's going to build like a course on SEO content, right, and stuff like that. And I thought, basically everything that he puts out, I buy. It's just like I know it's going to be good, probably, if he comes from him. So, but the cool thing that I like is that the second email that he sent, I don't know if you read that one.
I read. I checked. Yeah.
He basically, okay, we made like the 1,000, like the pre-orders that we want to do. We are building the course, but then he made like a quick reflection, kind of, which was saying, from sending this email, selling the course, we lost like 1% of our subscribers total, which is more than 500 people, which is a lot of subscribers. For obviously he has like a huge list, but still.
Still, his list I think was 40,000, and he lost 500. So it's quite a lot. My math sucks.
It's more than
it's a lot.
it's 1%, but basically I like his reflection. He was like, he said something that a reminder that everything isn't for everyone. So that's basically the lesson. It doesn't matter if you lose subscribers or whatever. Just like the ones that you keep are the ones that matter, right? And losing subscribers or losing followers, that kind of stuff, is just like filtering out your true audience, right? The ones that they won't care, or the ones that are willing to buy things from you, stuff like that. So I like his reflection. I like that he made it public, like that he sent the email and he say, okay, this happened, quick reflection. I really liked it.
So, yeah, I think Jack is pretty good at like finding good tidbits for building in public and what to share and what not. I think he did a really good job there. Yeah, I totally agree. It was really cool. And yeah, it was this was an instant buy for me as well, because like SEO, it just, when you tell me those words, it just feels overwhelming. And
for me, it feels terrible. I don't want to even think about it.
And I was just like, knowing Jack, and one of his strengths, and superpowers is like to break complex things into kind of simple to understand concepts.
Yeah.
And that was the reason why it was an instant buy for me as well, because I was just, okay, yeah, I believe that you will break this down into me by not like wasting weeks of my time to understand it into something that might actually like improve me moving forward than just understanding some core concepts. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm glad he got the 100 pre-sales he wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean, the next line is like, the email lost us 1% of our subscribers, but 300 people voted with their wallets.
Yeah, that was a good line as well.
That's a good line,
Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's do my find, and then let's
your
wrap
last
it up.
one.
Okay, this is again for email. I'm subscribed to like Julian Shapiro has this company which is called Demand Curve, and they have the growth newsletter which I'm subscribed to, and mostly it's like startup targeted, but sometimes they have like interesting insights. And like if I open the last issue, which is 74, one line there is, it's just about like content creation, that you need to be different and whatnot. And one of the sayings, not sayings, but advice he shares there is, experiment with risky framings and angle. You'll likely be rewarded for being new and unique, like bringing new and unique information to table, and then like just consider like, try to like bring different points of view and try to be maybe a bit like controversial or whatnot, they have some more tips there that people can read. But what's your take on these? Like, I think Wes from Maven have this thing that she calls like spiky point of views. What's your take on it? Do you think about it when you create content, and how do you feel about it? Because I'll share my opinion later on, but you can just go.
Yeah, I think the thing is that you shouldn't be controversial just for the sake of it. I think that's where most people land, probably. So it's hard to be controversial, like really controversial, because if you need to be controversial, it needs to be because you really believe in the thing that you are saying, not just you are saying it just because that will get you engagement or whatever. But the thing is that to find those controversial takes on different topics, you need to really think about it. You really need to understand the topic, and you really need to know a lot about it to be like truly controversial. So it's not that easy as people think, to be like contrarian or controversial or whatever you want to call it. So for me, I think about it sometimes when I write content and so on. And actually, one of my last newsletters was, I tried to take this approach, and the whole thing was that I said like, that there is this thing that people say that content is king, like all the time. And basically what I said is, content is not king anymore. That was the subject line, and it got like one of the biggest open rates ever. Because and the thing is that later I argumented why I was saying that, and I really believed what I said. So I think
I think you mentioned about like the packaging and stuff, which is totally true in my opinion as well.
Yeah. So I mentioned like, obviously you can have the best blog post content in the world, but if it's just like 3 big chunks of text, no one is going to read it, So there needs to be like that balance between content and the style, the formatting, like the packaging. So that was my whole thing, but I tried to make it a little bit more controversial with this content is not king anymore, like challenging this common phrase.
That's a good how to frame it. Yeah.
I think that's the way to approach being controversial, in a sense.
Yeah. If actually I read that email and their suggestion in the newsletter, like there are more like how to approach it, like addressing unserved intent. It's like my specific use case isn't represented here, so that's somehow how can you bring like then there is like filling in missing information. It's weird that no one is mentioning X here. That's another thing you can kind of tweet about, and you need to find truth. I like what you said, that don't try to find like weird shit just the sake of finding weird shit, like so something controversial. But like another thing is like that's an outdated belief. I think that's a good one, and that's something that's I think where we could put what you just shared about like content is not the king anymore, because it was before, but now it's not. Especially like if your credibility is low, if of course if you're like Tim Ferriss or whatever, Paul Graham, everybody reads your thing anyhow. But yeah, especially for us like aspiring content creators, we need to package stuff. Okay, and there's some other tips, but it's when I create content, I don't think about this that much, but it's interesting, sometimes, because sometimes when I share my visuals, you can interpret them in like different ways. And then sometimes, especially on Instagram, people love like to rage or like, but what if like, I don't know, I shared something and he just like brought in some, but what if you're like almost like a serial killer, It's like, whatever, it's like not my
the Instagram. Instagram comment section is mental,
it's definitely different. It's different. Like, but I often love to answer them, because I think there's this common belief, which is like that people think there's like you're tweeting out into the void and nobody reads it. I read it and sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, that's actually not what I meant. Like, good job, thank you. And they're like getting like, okay, there's actually a real person on the other side. I think Twitter in that sense is more understandable, that unless like your thing goes viral, then you get a lot of shit as well. But I've noticed that it's interesting. I think recently, let me just find, I put out a tweet which was something a bit more, I just want to find it, because I had this feeling that this actually did pretty well, and it's a bit on the like not controversial side, but feels a bit, I don't know, maybe I can't find it anymore. I don't know. But sometimes with visuals, it's interesting that I often find that people love kind of to correct me, and it's totally true. I had this visual which went again like pretty viral. It's like more than 5,000 likes, and it's like think less, experiment more, and then there's this gain clarity through thinking, gain clarity through doing, and there's like loads of comments like you need to do both. You can't just do stuff. And that's like it's all good and true. I'm just like kind of sharing what I think most people need to hear, and most people need to hear that you need actually probably to do more. Of course, some people need to think more because they're just maybe doing some job that they don't really like, but I think I'm creating content for myself, so it depends how people take it.
I don't think you can go too wrong with that. If as long as you like it, then there is more people like you in the world, like with similar interests. So that's a good safe framework.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's the episode. But I think it was a good one. But it's actually, it probably would be cool if we actually prepare beforehand. Maybe during the week we just can capture like 3 things we find interesting on the internet, and then we can do an episode next week. So we can have maybe 2 episodes or something. But this was cool. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it.
Yeah, it's fun, and I hear interesting things from you. So I'll keep in mind when I go about my week and read newsletters. Like, this we could actually discuss and talk about. So that's cool. That's a cool idea. Let's do that. Okay, that's the episode. Subscribe to our podcast, newsletters, and everything else.
Bye.
Bye.